Well, there's a black dog. Hi, Moto. Are you excited that it snowed? Yeah. Okay, it finally dried out enough to where I could finally get out here, and overcast and missed it a few times. Just generally not a good day for drying down, or a good couple days I should say. So I got this field worked up in the last video. Turned out pretty good, I think. Not bad for an old piece of junk disc. So we're gonna get this thing sprayed, and this will be the last field operation for the year, unfortunately. All right, we're spraying. At the beginning of this year, we picked up this sprayer. It's a Bestway. Got 60-foot booms. Going from I don't know, it was probably late 70s or early 80s. I don't even know what kind it was. A little sprayer with 20-foot booms, because the booms were all broke up, and my planter's 20 foot, and I cut the booms down to, you know, three sections, and it had a little controller here that I've mounted on the fender of the 706. And this thing was quite the upgrade from the one I was using. So this one has a Raven 440 controller and a Raven Cruiser. And this thing's pretty slick. I never used anything like this because the old sprayer just was not technologically advanced enough, if I can say it. This thing will control, like you go around the edges, and it will map out the edges of the field and where you've already sprayed. So when you get to the end of the row, it'll shut off for you, and that just blows me away. That's so much easier, and it's a lot easier in crop, especially when you're spraying fungicide, because you don't have to worry about the overlap, and if you miss a little spot, it'll get it for you, and it's just all around awesome. Super glad we picked this sprayer up. So the blue on the screen is where I already sprayed. And right now I'm turning around, so it's not spraying. The valves are turned off. Come up to this line, hit my auto steer. So it's not spraying yet. There we go. I did not do anything. It did that all on its own. I love it. Technology is great, isn't it? So at 8 mile an hour, roughly 8 mile an hour, I'm doing about 57 acres per hour. This is according to my math, the John Deere Ops Center, this is a 57-acre field. So if we did our math right, we ought to have about 45 gallons left, which will be just fine. I can go around the field edges and get the grass. That way we don't have any weeds growing up in the grass, or close to it anyways. Well, this marks the end of the crop year for 2025. Of course, you guys didn't see any of it, but we had a pretty good year, despite being as dry as everybody else. Yields were actually pretty good. Had a couple bean fields break some new records. We tried some experiment with some ESN on corn, and I don't think I like it, for the simple fact of we had a lot of rain up until July, and I think a lot of that rain washed out some of the nitrogen in one field, and unfortunately the field still did pretty good. It was over 200 bushel an acre, but that field is capable of probably another 50. So I think I left a lot on the table, and unfortunately ESN's just a lot more expensive than anhydrous. So you always got to experiment, see what works best for you. But I think we'll stick with the anhydrous for next year. But we're done. Time to go home and start cleaning stuff up. Well, that ripper falling off is a good good lesson on why you need proper bushings when you hook it up to your 3-point hitch. I couldn't get the thing on with the bushings that were on it, and just to get it home I took the bushings off, but I figured I might as well try it in the field just to see if everything was gonna work right, if the thing was gonna break in half, and it was fine. But as you see, it fell off, and no harm, no foul. Got it back on, got it home, got it parked. I actually bought this thing. That field I was just in was the new farm I picked up. The old guy retired and liquidated all of his equipment, and the company that was going to sell all of his equipment for him was not going to give him very much money for this thing. So I figured, why not buy it, clean it up, get all the foliage that's growing on this thing cleaned up. It'll clean up pretty good, and I'll see if I can't flip it, make a extra couple dollars off of it. It's not a bad piece, so I think I can make a little bit of money on it. As I've said in the past, I don't really like to do a whole lot of deep tillage in the winter. I'd rather just let it sit. It's a lot easier on the tractor. My tractor's not super suited for real deep tillage like that. Get out of here. Now that we're done spraying, we can finally get this thing cleaned up. And fortunately, I waited till it turned 23 degrees outside. So I'm all covered in Under Armour, my cold gear, and we're gonna get this thing cleaned up. I'm gonna blow it off first and get the dust off of here, that way it doesn't turn into mud. It's gonna suck out there in the cold washing it off, but fortunately I've got a heated shop to pull it in, let it dry out. As you see, the shop is a little full right now. We got a combine to clean up. We're gonna sell the old 1640. We picked up a really nice 2366 for next year. So we got just a few little things to clean up on it, and then we can finally list it. Get Dad's 4650 out of here, and I still need to get my 4640 cleaned up. So let's brave the cold and get this sprayer cleaned up. got it cleaned up a little best I could, given the temperature. As you can see, well, maybe you can't see, that stuff's frozen. I wasn't being just a baby, it's cold outside. It's not the best job, but I don't have a Hotsie yet. Maybe one day I'll get one. But at least it's clean enough to put away for the year. Now I just need to get this shop cleaned up. So something that always bugs me, whether I'm spraying, putting on anhydrous, or planting, is the amount of clutter in the cab. All the equipment used in spraying is especially, I don't know, gives me a little bit of anxiety with all the clutter. Maybe it's because this cab is so small. But since we are done for the year, I'm going to go ahead and take all this cabling and these monitors out. We'll take out the Raven Cruiser and the 440 and get rid of all of this wiring. And I'm not even really sure what this is. It's a controller of some sort. That's what helps with the section control. We'll leave the GPS monitor in. We'll go ahead and put the planner monitor in, maybe, because that'll be the next thing I do next year when it starts to warm up again. So let's clean this up a little bit. If you guys don't use these Velcro straps, look into them, because they are a lot easier to use than zip ties, and they're reusable. In case you're wondering what this thing is, I 3D printed this, so when I'm spraying, holding that valve open, fits right in there, holds that thing forward, and when I'm done using it, pull it right back out, keep it there. I also made and designed this thing. It holds a seed depth holder, sometimes pretty tight. Pretty slick, huh? One thing I'm most proud of is when I installed this AutoTrac steering thing, I didn't want the big toggle switch that John Deere sells, so I found this little button here on Amazon, just a simple push button, and with the Ag Leader wiring harness for this system, you just use a temporary push button to turn on the auto steer. So I was able to take this cover off here, dash cover I guess you call it, take this panel off, take this loose. There's 3 bolts on the inside of the fender, and there's enough room in here to drill, I think it's a 1/2 inch or a 5/8 hole, and this simple little push button here, right by my throttle, right by the shifter, right by the hydraulics. It's real nice to have that. My knee doesn't bump it or anything like that, and that's how I turn my auto steer on. That way I don't have to come up here and press that button. The old Easy Steer, I had a switch down on the floor that I liked, having a foot switch, but it would move around. I didn't have it secured to the floor, but this thing is just a lot cleaner, and like I said earlier, I don't like clutter in the cab, so this is perfect. Alright, that's a lot better. I like an unobstructed view. Well, I think this white stuff will pretty much put it into our outdoor farming shenanigans. So, might as well call it a day. Thank you for watching. Please like, comment, subscribe, whatever the heck you want to do. I appreciate it. Thanks. I'll see you in the next one.